The UVB-76 is a Russian shortwave station that broadcasts on the frequency of 4525 kilohertz all day, every day, for the last 50 years. Now, some believe this to be a relic of the Cold War, since the station was first noticed around that time. The station is not famous for its impressive runtime or for the availability of broadcast worldwide. No, what has the world stumped is the cryptic nature of its broadcast. It can simply be described as a short, monotonous buzzing tone, as you can hear here. The tone is often interrupted by short messages in Russian.
UVB-76, 93, 882, на имена, 74, 14, 35, 74.
Now, it's popularly known as the buzzer, and the station has been identified as the UVB-76, the MDZHB, and more recently, the ZHUOZ over the last few years. And over those years, conspiracy theorists and radio enthusiasts have been drawn to the mystique of the station's broadcast. Some have set out to unearth the secrets that lie within the cryptic transmissions, and after years of research and careful monitoring, some facts about the station have actually surfaced. After numerous years of observation, no real purpose or meaning has been established for the broadcast. There are numerous theories about the true purpose and the meaning of the buzz and the words by mysterious voices, and sadly, none of them have been substantiated. The facts uncovered by these enthusiasts and theorists have allowed curious minds to develop theories that exploit all the available information and formulate theories that underscore Russia's military past. Now, the station is formerly located in Voynia Godrak, a mini military city in Pavero, and I'm probably butchering those names, by the way. The town is rustic and is surrounded by old communist buildings and dachas. The grounds of the station are surrounded by tall fences, and at the gate there is a sign that reads, "Military vehicles only." The station seems to be completely abandoned at all times. One of the residents, Natalia, whose late husband's name was Sergei, a driver to the commander of the military city, claims that nobody ever goes to the station. It just stands there, supposedly unattended to. And it begs the question, who is responsible for the monotonous buzzing sound and the cryptic voice messages? In 2010, the station switched location. Now, some think it's a result of the restructuring that was taking place in the Russian military. And in September, the Moscow and Leningrad military district merged to form a new command center in St. Petersburg. The station is actually believed to transmit from two sites. The first, where it sends radio relay and phone lines directly from Moscow through the St. Petersburg command hub on Palace Square. The second site is said to be located at Naroshensk, Moscow, where the 69th Communications Center is located, and that serves as the main staff headquarters of the Western Military District in Moscow. Now, the change in transmission site ties the station to Russian military. The movements and change in the military structure is assumed to have caused the stations to switch locations. Even though the military has accepted no formal responsibility for the station, the dots are kind of easily connected. The new transmission site of the UVB-76 at Moscow is near the 69th Communications Center, which serves as the headquarters for the Western Military District. It's also important to pay special attention to the original transmission site in Volhynia, Godorok. And the station is said to have transmitted there since the 1970s. Right in the middle of the Cold War, when the mini-military city was still active. And this suggests that the station is actually affiliated to the Russian military. With its location suggesting its military roots, conspiracy theorists and fans could not help but come up with elaborate theories that attempt to explain the true purpose of the station. These fan-made theories are more often elaborate than the last. There have been theories of a dead man switch, a vast spy networks, and bomb radar system. There has also been more innocent theories like the filler station theory. All these theories elaborate or not hinge on the unsubstantiated claims that the station is run by the Russian military. And as elaborate as these theories may seem, some of them might actually hold water. There has been no recorded response to the public's questions, which naturally begs the question, what is the station hiding? And perhaps there are some secrets that are stored within its cryptid broadcast. Without proper answers, they left the public no choice but to speculate. One of the more elaborate theories is the dead man station. Now, this theory hinges on the dead hand system established by Russia in the Cold War era. It is called the perimeter system in English. It's a Cold War era automatic nuclear weapons control system used by the Soviet Union to deter nuclear attacks of any kind. And the system utilizes a dead man switch, which ensures retaliation if the leadership of Russia were to become eliminated or incapacitated. After the Cold War ended and the Soviet Union collapsed, the perimeter system was said to have been discontinued. However, there are speculations that the system was resumed in secret, and the incessant buzzing of the UVB-76 conveys a hidden message that is capable of launching a nuclear counterattack in response to a preemptive nuclear strike from an enemy location. The theory is that the short messages that occur periodically on the broadcast could be an elaborate code to instruct the military to stand by or otherwise.
UVB-76, UVB-76, 93, 882.
If this station really did broadcast nuclear instructions, a stop in transmission is definitely not it. The break that the station took in June of 2010, months before its move to a new location, did not set off any bombs. And this tore a hole in the theory, and perhaps it's better this way. And the thought of a nuclear holocaust does not appeal to most. Pretty much everybody, right? And the hole widened further when skeptics assessed the theory. Now, they believed a powerful device with the ability to wreak substantial damage to the enemy will be guarded with far more secrecy, and its location would be closely guarded to prevent the enemy from destroying it. Since a stop in transmission is not the trigger, one wonders how a deadly weapon such as the station has been able to protect itself without any security. And another objection to this theory is that there has been no attempt to suppress the frequency of the station with a higher frequency. And this helps debunk the entire theory. Now, the UVB-76 is a shortwave station. And what this means is that they can broadcast over a wide area over a low frequency. Since the broadcast is in AM, anybody with a working radio can tune in to listen. In fact, we can tune in on this website and listen to it right now. The shortwave network allows the signal to be picked up anywhere around the world, and this makes it a suitable setup for espionage at a massive scale. This fact provides the backing for a second elaborate theory. Some radio enthusiasts believe that the buzzing of the station isn't just meaningless like most would have you believe it is. They believe they entail a complex system of sounds that relay coded messages at given intervals. Now, up until 1992, the station only broadcasted what can only be described as beeps. And then it changed to buzzes that ranged between 21 to 34 buzzes per minute. The buzzes usually last for roughly a minute, and then interrupted by a nasally foghorn blaring through a crackling ether. And the voice broadcasts usually start with no apparent warning, and typically start with a call sign. The first was U-B-V-7-6, and this has changed over the course of the last few years. At the time it changed to MDZHB, and sometimes a new call sign is formulated for a specific broadcast. And the call sign is usually followed by the message, which could include the Russian alphabet or words. And the only way to describe the broadcast of the station is cryptic. Because of the bizarre nature of the transmissions, people naturally assumed they contain hidden messages. Some speculate that the pip, the squeaky wheel, and the buzzer are part of a larger cell, since their format of broadcasts are so similar. Could the UVB-76, popularly known as the buzzer, be the communications hub of a larger Russian spy network? Now, Professor David Suples, an expert in signals intelligence from City University, London, does not believe that. He claims that if messages were relayed across the station, they could leave a noticeable trace. And that rules out the ever-present buzz, and maybe even perhaps the cryptic messages. Perhaps the messages are encrypted in such a manner that only the intended recipients could possibly decode it. It is important to remember that the station has been running for decades, and surely a pattern would have been discovered by now. This might be what Professor Suples meant by trace. There are other solid reasons why this theory might not be feasible. After all, such a network would be more closely guarded, and if it were truly a communication system of Russian espionage, attempts would have been made to neutralize it. The buzzer has also been thought to be a makeshift radar system that transmits signals to determine the location of nuclear missiles, and that would explain its new location near St. Petersburg. This theory was also debunked by the professor. Professor Suples explained that for a station like the buzzer to be a radar, its broadcast would need to sound more like a car alarm and less like a buzz. Now, there are other theories out there that seem to draw attention. Theories like it used to be the test of the ionosphere, or to just fill up that particular frequency. All these theories are actually quite fascinating, but they're unsubstantiated. Perhaps in the future an elaborate plot will uncover what the buzzer is and its sister locations. But until then, the mystery remains unsolved. Hello everybody, thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this video. I know this is a drastic change from what I usually do on the channel, but please, if you like this sort of content, please rate it thumbs up and leave a comment down below.